Hey everybody, it's Gano here. And yeah, judging by what you see me wearing right now, you probably know what I'm gonna talk about. Yeah, see I got a Columbia 300 hat on. Got a shirt that says Columbia 300 on it. So yeah, what I'm gonna talk about today is one of my favorite sports. Rock, paper, scissors. It's one of the greatest sports to ever be put on ESPN. If it's completely luck-based. Known as Rochambeau by the French, the game is very simple. Either rock, you use rock, paper, scissors. Rock beats scissors. Scissors beats paper, and paper be- Oh, hold on a minute. Yo, none man, just doing a video. I told you it was gonna be on my favorite sport today. No, not that one. Rock, paper, scissors. No, no, hold on a minute. No, don't say stuff like that. No, hey, no. Bowling is more of a sport than rock, paper, scissors, but you know what? You know what? Fuck you, man. Yo, bowling is a sport. You know what? Fine. I'll make the rest of the video about bowling. Alright? You happy? Fine. So, yeah. I'm getting really sick of the negative attention that bowling's been getting these days. I mean, there once was a time back in like the 70s and even later into the 90s that bowling would everybody tuned into ABC on Sundays to watch bowling. That was the big sport on Sundays, that and probably football. And people would wants to watch people like Mark Roth and Dick Weber, Marshall Hallman, Earl Anthony, Mike Albee, and it was a great way for families to get together and watch their favorite sports. Nowadays, not so much. I mean, you could still watch it on ESPN on Sunday afternoons, but I mean, it's just not as advertised as much. Neither in the papers nor on television. No one wants to say, "Hey, come to the PBA Geico Classic on a Sunday." Nope, you have to find out on your own because, well, the papers would rather talk about something else. And another thing, when something happens in bowling on TV that is completely extraordinary, nobody covers it. I mean, Sports Center, you're not going to see bowling on that anytime soon. Let me ask you this: when Walter Ray Williams Jr., arguably the probably the best bowler in history, broke Earl Anthony's long-standing record of numbers of titles by winning his 42nd title at the Daido Cup in Japan, I think in 2006. SportsCenter didn't cover that. They didn't mention it at all. Or how about when Sean Rash, novice in the PBA, became the first non-exempt bowler to win a PBA title? Nope. SportsCenter would rather cover, like I'd mentioned before, the rock paper scissors tournament, or a bunch of people chasing a cheese roll down a very steep hill. Trust me, I've seen it on the top 10. And you think bowling struggles at a national level? Think of what it's doing, like on Long Island here where I live. I mean, locally, it's not as better, not as good. The high school bowling. Yeah, I've heard of stories that high school bowling has become the largest growing sport in the U.S., and that's great. But here, newspapers don't cover high school bowling as much. It's worse this year than it was in years past. I mean, before, I'm sure it's fine where we see the team scores, the three match sets, and see which team wins, and then the occasional tiny article about one team against another and who bowled what. But when it came time for championship matches like the divisional at East Islip or the county tournaments, which changes every year, They don't make a big deal about it. They'll put in an article like this big for somebody who wins a championship. But that was then. I hate to see what it looks like now because they don't post bowling scores at all in the newspaper. They'd rather post. They'll probably post them on the internet, and which I don't really see, and I'll tell you why. I don't use the internet for everything. I actually read the newspaper. I like to see who won what in regards to bowling. I'm not gonna go on to Newsday.com and look it up for myself. That's just a waste of my time when I could be doing something that's actually fun and stuff. And let me give you another example. I I probably mentioned this that I was part of the Lindenhurst team that won not only the county championship in 2006, but we were the New York State champions in 2006. Remember when I told you that they made articles this big for people who won the county tournament? That's exactly how big it was when we won the states. And it was exactly the same size when the Suffolk County All-Stars won the states. So you wouldn't know that Suffolk County was the pinnacle of New York State bowling in 2006. Because the newspapers are too lazy to actually make a big deal about it. What's even funnier is that the high school newspaper didn't make a big deal about it when we won the states and the counties and the leagues. Nope, their title was just as small as the one on Newsday. Which doesn't make sense because I'd figure the Lindenhurst would be proud that a team had brought back a New York State championship. At any team. But apparently if it's not baseball or basketball or track or soccer, cross, it's not a big deal. And that's what sucks.